Starting in January 2021, Olivia Rodrigo began experiencing substantial success with her song Driver's License, and during this time became associated with Taylor Swift both through Olivia's postings and things that Taylor was saying on her Instagram. However, since then, it appears things have gone sideways, except some few minor interactions that seem to be positive that occur at award shows taking place this year. But before we hop into this timeline, I want to say I need all of the Swifties and all of the Olivia Rodrigo fans to stand down. I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm just going to relay the timeline events of what happened between the two starting in 2021 up until today. I'm not even going to put any speculation in here from my opinion. I'm just communicating the facts. I love both of these women and I love both of their music. My sources are listed above. I did my best to include every single interaction that was either photographed, videoed, or referenced in multiple articles in this video, but I only have 10 minutes, so I try to keep it to the most important and also the biggest events between the two. Starting off in April of 2020, Olivia Rodrigo covers Cruel Summer for MTV's Alone Together jam session. Taylor reposts this in an Instagram story showing her support and saying that Olivia is very talented. In that same month, Olivia also does another interview where she talks about her love for Gracie Abrams, which we're going to talk about later. Moving into January of 2021, Driver's License takes off on the charts and Olivia posts this on her Instagram. In the caption, she says, "Next to Taylor on the US iTunes chart, I'm in a puddle of tears." Taylor then comments on that last post saying, "I say that's my baby and I'm really proud," which, if you didn't know, is actually a quote from her mom. And then Olivia screenshots it and posts this. The caption says, "What is breathing?" In February of 2021, she does an interview with Nylon Magazine where she talks about being inspired by Taylor Swift. And then the next month, she does an interview with SiriusXM where she talks about the ring and the handwritten note that Taylor gave her.
Actually, last night, literally 12 hours ago, I got a package from her with this handwritten note, and she gave me this ring because she said she wore one just like it when she wrote Red. And she wanted me to have one like it. And all of this amazing stuff. She hand wrapped these gifts. I truly don't understand where she finds the time, first of all, but also I feel so lucky that I just was born at the right time to be able to look up to somebody like her.
Moving into April of 2021, Olivia and Conan Gray begin posting things about Fearless Taylor's version for a few different songs, including White Horse, which again we'll come back to. Also in April, Olivia does an interview with Rolling Stone where she talks about how Cruel Summer actually inspired the bridge of Deja Vu. That's something I don't really hear people talk about, but there is video evidence that she did say that it was inspired by Cruel Summer.
I love Cruel Summer. It's one of my favorite songs ever. I love the yelly vocals in it, the harmonized yells that she does. I feel like they're super electric and moving, and so I wanted to do something like that. And I love that.
In May, they meet for the first time at the Brit Awards, and Olivia also posts this picture of them together on her Instagram. Later that month, Sour is released, and we find out that Taylor has a songwriting credit on One Step Forward, Three Steps Back. This is also something I see routinely get confused amongst fans. Olivia does say in an interview that they had reached out to Taylor way before the album was released and gotten her and her team's approval to be credited as a songwriter because it was inspired by New Year's Day.
Can you describe Taylor and Jack Antonoff's role in the song? Because there is some inspiration from Dear John and New Year's Day. Is that correct?
So we interpolated New Year's Day, which is Taylor's song with Nation. I came up with the One Step Forward concept, and I sort of wrote a verse and a chorus. And when I got home, I was in the car on a road trip, and when I got home, I decided to sing it over the chords of New Year's Day, and I think they're really beautiful chords. And so I was lucky enough to get that approved, and it's on the record now.
Later that same month, though, Billboard reports that Taylor Swift, Jack Antonoff, and St. Vincent have received co-writer credits on Deja Vu. Moving into August, Olivia mentions Taylor for the last time by name in an interview. So she's not asked about Taylor, she brings Taylor up in the quote above. To see the title here, but in this same month, Paramore, Josh Farro, and Hayley Williams received songwriting credits on the song Good For You. Next month, Billboard releases another article saying that Olivia has given up millions of dollars in publishing royalties. Based on the publishing of this article, September 1st, 2021, this was the amount of money each person that was retroactively credited as a songwriter had received. Also in September, Josh Farro, one of the members of Paramore, was recorded talking about this situation in an interview, and it comes off not so well for him.
Misery Business, which recently there was a lawsuit, and Olivia Rodrigo ripped that song off, so we actually are technically writers on that song now. Her song Good For You, which was a #1 worldwide, pop song recently. So I got to reap the benefit of that, but none of the labor.
In October, Olivia does an interview with Teen Vogue where she actually talks a lot about the situation, but attributes it more to her not understanding the business side of things versus it being personal. You can pause to read this quote here. And she also talks about feeling like people are taking things out of context and discrediting her work. Since we're about halfway through this timeline, I just want to point out, if you're still with me and you're a Swiftie, I've not really talked much about Taylor, and that's because Taylor, during this time, wasn't really talking about anything with Olivia Rodrigo at all. She was during the process of doing Fearless Taylor's version, and then, of course, Red Taylor's version. Again, I'm not leaving anything out about Taylor. She just wasn't super active with this feud during this time. In December, Olivia is named Times Entertainer of the Year and gives a quote that some attribute to maybe shading Taylor Swift. Things are then pretty quiet until November of 2022 when Taylor Swift announces the Eras Tour and the openers that will be joining her. Of course, announcing an opener such as Paramore was perceived to be a dig at Olivia because of the songwriting credits, and then announcing Gracie Abrams as an opener was also seen as a dig at Olivia because she had mentioned being a huge fan. Later, of course, we also have the introduction of Sabrina Carpenter, and that is also perceived to be a dig at Olivia. Next month, Conan Gray does an interview talking about Taylor Swift just briefly, saying that he hadn't listened to Midnights, and some speculate that this could be due to the whole songwriting credits since he said he was such a huge fan, and Midnights had been out for a while at that point. In February of 2023, a fan sees that Olivia's dad had liked a suspicious tweet on Twitter. In June, Olivia releases the song Vampire, and some speculate it could be about Taylor due to a few different lyrics in the song. This same week, Taylor Swift releases Cruel Summer as an official single, even though it came from the Lover album, sending some to speculate it could be due to Olivia releasing Vampire, but others say it could be due to the fact that it was trending on TikTok and other social media platforms. This is released in September of 2023. Same night it's released, it's announced that Taylor Swift threw a party at the Electric Lady studio, but Olivia was not in attendance. We also have the song The Grudge having fans speculating that this could be about Taylor because of a few different lines, but most notably the phone call in May. Because we know that they met in May, and then in June it was announced that Taylor Swift and others would be receiving credits on that song. In September, she does an interview with The Guardian and says that she's surprised to hear that people think that any of these songs are about Taylor. Same month, she does an interview with Rolling Stone where she says that she has no beef with anybody in the music industry. You can pause to read, but essentially she says while she has no beef, she was surprised about the situation. Taylor is also seen clapping for her at the VMAs. In October, Olivia does a performance with her co-writer Dan, and they talk a little bit about giving credit to Dan's daughter for being a feature, which could be perceived as a dig at all the people who got writing credits post the release of her songs. I could not find the video that was referenced, but I found multiple transcripts, so you can read it above. Moving into this year, Taylor is seen clapping for Olivia at the Grammys when she performs, and Olivia is seen clapping for Taylor as she takes home multiple Grammys. Olivia kicks off her tour later that month on February 24th, the same night that Taylor brings out Sabrina to perform Sabrina's favorite song by Taylor, White Horse. Again, this is perceived to be a dig at Olivia because Olivia had helped do some press release for the song White Horse when Fearless Taylor's version was released. Taylor releases The Tortured Poets Department in April, and many speculate that there's a couple different references to Olivia on here. Some say that I'm Gonna Get You Back is a ripoff of Olivia's Get Him Back, while others say that the last verse of Clairbeau is a positive nod towards Olivia. And for what I could find most recently, we know that Taylor goes to Coachella and goes to Dom Dolla's set, which some say could be a way of her avoiding Olivia because she came out the same night to perform with No Doubt. And that brings us to today. Let me know in the comments what you think transpired between the two and if they're still on good terms.
This is my unbiased take on this topic. Every time celebrities become friends and they fall out, 90 to 50% of those times it is caused by the fans. The fans are like a little virus, a little talky thing, right? Every time you see them on Twitter tweeting, pitting two artists at each other, like Taylor just brought out Sabrina on the Eras Tour in New Orleans, and you see fans pitting them against each other, saying that Taylor is trying to outshine Sabrina. Taylor is trying to take away from Sabrina's work. Taylor is trying to be like Sabrina. Taylor's like, there is so much stuff about Taylor and Sabrina. There's so much negative stuff about those two people coming up on stage. And that was supposed to be something beautiful because they were surprising their fans and doing something lovely. Like that is something that we all want to see with our favorite celebrities, right? Them walking together, them, coming on stage together and all of those beautiful things. But tell me why fans can take such something so beautiful and twist it and turn it to look so bad, to the extent where these artists will see it and it start getting into their heads. That is just what happens all the time. And in my opinion, Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift might have gone in through some crisis and some misunderstanding and stuff like that, which is natural. But the fans always interfering just makes it worse. Notice how in this timeline, from the time Taylor and Olivia Rodrigo started having some kind of misunderstanding, notice how the fans always try to pit them against each other by saying that, oh, Olivia's song Get Him Back or whatever is about Taylor, and Taylor's song Taylor's song, which has a similar title, is about Olivia. And oh my god, it is so draining and just it gives me a headache. Like, how do y'all even come up with these things? How do y'all try to bring out the negative and stuff all the time, So I'll just say the fans are something beautiful. They're beautiful. At the same time, they could be like a little poison that is growing or eating you up, like. So yeah, it is something that's not going to change. I feel like artists need to be able to grow and learn how to manage that, but it is never going to change. It's something that, it's never going to go away. So y'all can tell me what you think about this video down below. Don't forget to like and tell me what you think about the Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor situation. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be coming up with more videos just like this and reacting to them. So stay tuned. Love ya.